Welcome, guys. Jonathan Allison here again, and it's exciting to have you guys here on another episode of Gist. Today I'm excited because my friends are here with me, and we want to talk about something very, very important and sensitive also to our faith as Christians. I have with me here Busayo today, and I have Paul and my man Mbale from Aparabon Kingdom. Yeah. So, Christians in politics, where are we? What are we doing? And are we actually making a difference? Are we actually doing anything that is significant? Are we actually being felt? Is our presence felt in the sphere of governance? And are we actually creating any change in this country, particularly Nigeria now? And where do we see ourselves in the future? So this is what we're talking about. I don't need to ask too many questions before we begin to set this place on fire now. So where are we, Paul?
Well, looking at the current development, or the current trend in the country, I think, let's use the last elections, for instance. The church had a lot of say in the current government. I remember very clearly when the current government started running, the moment they brought in Vice President Yemi Osinbajo into the race, there was a tilt that, oh, okay, he's a Christian, he's a member of a very large church, redeemed, as we all know. So that bias set in instantly. Let's support our own, let's push him out. He will protect the image of the church, he will project the image of the church and all of that. So yes, there was that clamor by the Christian circle to have this government in. So looking at using the current government as a yardstick, we can say we have a feeling of Christians in politics, but the effect is not yet felt. We do not see so much of so much of effect or presence of having a pastor as the vice president of the country yet. Or I've never seen it at all, if I may add. So, but on a general note, Christians are supposed to be involved in politics of any nation. If we look at the Bible and all of that, I was trying to do a bit of study in the last 2 days when I was thinking about this topic. It's got that the Bible is full of politics. From Genesis to Revelation, there's a lot of politics in it. And if I may break it down a bit.
Good politics, bad
politics. Good politics, bad politics. It's all in the Bible. You just have to have that determination to study and bring them out. When we talk about covenants and all between God and man, God and Abraham, you can look at it from the angle of politics. If you do this, I'll do this. And politics, for a general definition, is like having a system of governance, wherein there are certain people who rule. I don't use the word Lord, who rule, who are supposed to be servants, giving direction to a people on how a nation or a particular culture or tribe should run.
So Christians are not involved enough. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
In 2011, I mean, just taking it off from your example, in 2011, the current president ran alongside a pastor, Tunde Bakare.
Yes.
He didn't win the election.
Well, if we even talk about that one, Tunde Bakare, I think his congregation, how many branches does he have in the nation?
So are you talking about
why I use the example of the current vice president is because when you look at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, it's a church that every 5 minutes you see a branch. So by the moment that the GO was seeing the vice president and he said, this is my son, there was this endorsement, if we will say, by the body of Christ. Okay, yeah, the GO has endorsed, let me use that word safely, the vice president. So it was more or less like giving this government a direction to say, okay, you know what, since this person is here, I can vouch for this person. Hence, we can give votes to this people.
Now, so I remember on the service where the current vice president was prayed for because he was going into an election. The then president, Goodluck Jonathan, was in the same service. And I mean, Goodluck Jonathan knelt down before the general overseer and a whole lot of people. And for me, I'm trying to look at it from that perception of influence. You understand that on how some people wield influence because of, okay, we're talking about Christians now, because they are Christians, so probably they are pastors and all. Now, so if you're talking about endorsements, there were endorsements on both sides. Goodluck was there. He came out, knelt down, and it was very controversial. The then contesting vice president who came, Goodluck went before the vice. You understand? So, for me, it wasn't like there was an endorsement per se. It was like, hey, I mean, these guys are running for election. You understand? And the reason why I'm particular about this is the narrative. So, does it mean that if we don't have a pastor run for office, people will not support or people will not get involved? And you know, political participation doesn't just stop at the place where we cast our votes. It's more than that. It's still part of the system. So the electoral system is still part of the larger ecosystem of politics. So we're just talking about the electoral system now. So politics doesn't just stop on the day of election.
Yeah.
It continues, after election. So I think giving it context, as Christians, the question should be, are Christians involved enough in politics?
Okay, so let me first differentiate from elective politics and should I call it appointment of career politics?
Selective.
No, elective is election year.
Yeah.
We find one person.
Yeah.
Is a Christian. It's very funny that in Nigeria, if you have a Catholic, a lot of Catholics vote for the person and the Anglicans might not. You have a Redeemer and then a lot of the Protestants vote, but the other Orthodox churches vote. So now, when you go to I'm very particular about the career politics rather than the elective ones. So the directors, the PAMSECs, the DJ of agencies or whatever it is, that is where I think the real politics is. Now, the president is the president. 4 years you leave, 8 years you leave. Some PAMSECs are there from the whole process of being from what level to the level of being a PAMSEC, that is where the real politics is played. Are Christians involved in that type of politics? Yes. But now, this is the difference. A lot of them are there playing that politics and winning that politics because it benefits them alone.
Okay.
So you want to be the PAMSEC, you do everything you can, you see everybody you need to see, you play the right way just to make sure that it favors you. Whether the right way is a good way or not. Just to make sure it favors you. Then when it now comes to the elective politics, so that guy that helped you at some point to become a PAMSEC or, I don't know, influence your appointment or influence your reposting to a particular ministry for you to... So that is the guy your attention now tilts towards. So Christians in this politics tilt a lot towards interest than actually doing the right thing. I remember one time I was arguing with a friend, Dio, and I said, see, it is better to find a Christian who is not a pastor to be in politics than to find a pastor, because we crucify the pastor.
Yes, because of his title.
Yes. And then how do you now come and preach to us?
After you are failed.
After you are failed. Because as the vice president or as the president, every failure, it is you. It is tied around you. So, okay, simple example now. Let's talk about insecurity, and then you now come and say, we need to pray for the president. And then now we need spiritual interference or intervention to tackle insecurity and kidnapping. Do you think we really need spiritual interference to tackle insecurity? I'm coming. The countries that are very secured, there is the mechanism to secure the countries. So as long as you don't have that system in place, I feel like no matter how much you pray, you only pray to make sure that you deploy those systems successfully. If you don't have those systems, you pray from now till the end.
So are you trying to say Christians, now you have said many things actually, and one of the things I've picked is that
part of selfishness,
Yes.
where your own selfish interest is what is on your mind primarily, which is very common around us. And then you also mentioned the fact that we tend to spiritualize everything
Yes.
more than we practicalize.
Yes.
Like going to put principles to work, for instance, you engage the systems that will make sure that the security outfits are working. You engage all the things that make sure that the general public is fine. Why have we become so passive as Christians when it comes to politics?
Personally, I don't think it's about being passive as Christians. In the last election, we had so many people run for offices, and some of them were people that would preach. A typical example is the governor I know, and I actually supported
Yes.
the governor. And someone sent me a message on Facebook, and it says, finally, a Christian is the governor of that particular state. And I said, no. I said, we don't have a Christian governor. We have a governor that is a Christian. We don't have a Christian vice president. We have a vice president who is a Christian. We don't have a Muslim president. We have a president who is a Muslim. Fundamentally on the fact that we live in a secular state that doesn't pledge allegiance to any religion.
Okay.
If we go by the Constitution.
Yes.
So we have people who are first of all humans before they became anything they are. You understand? So I said to the person, the governor is the governor of the witches and wizards. The governor is the governor of the drunkards, the homosexuals, the native doctors, everybody you find in the state where he superintends. He's the governor of everybody.
Yeah.
You understand? So let's take away that bias first.
Yeah.
You understand? I think the challenge is Matthew Kuka said something over the weekend. He said, if you want Nigerians to react, put religion. If you want Nigerians to react, put religion. But the truth of the matter is, when these guys are sharing this money, nobody looks at it that you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you are an atheist. Nobody. You see them hug themselves. You see them, shake themselves.
There are no walls.
You understand? So let's first of all remove this bias of this person is a Christian, this person is a Muslim. I supported Buhari in 2015. Buhari was a Muslim. I supported him as against a Christian president who was Jonathan. So for me, I don't see religion when it comes to politics. I see the benefit for all, for me personally. So if we can remove these religious sentiments, take it aside, and let's look at politics, let's look at governance.
But the benefit for all, is that what it is? Or is that what it is?
Well,
Because that's what it's supposed to be.
that is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
yes.
supposed to.
Now, if we look at what Scripture says, because since we're talking about the Christian in politics, I can't remember where exactly, but the Bible talks. Let me paraphrase. It says when the righteous rules, people rejoice. So,
But the righteous there, is it?
it's not now. That's an Old Testament scripture. It
religious.
did not say. it did not say when
It's
you're
about
Christian.
principles, not about.
Yes, it's about principles, about you following what the book says, the rule book. We have a constitution in Nigeria that tells us how to operate. Nigeria is a secular state, Professor already mentioned that. But the current trend that we find is that if you want people to wake up to anything, just add a bit of religion and ethnicity. Just sprinkle it, and everybody's up, screaming and shouting up and down, and this and that and that and that. But then, when a Christian, because you're first a human, as I mentioned that before you're a Christian or a Muslim,
You are, yeah.
if you're in a position of authority and you say you're a Christian and you took your oath of office with the Bible in one hand and your other hand placed on the Constitution, telling us that you're swearing your allegiance by these two supreme books, it is expected of that individual now that based on what these two books says, you should lead and direct the affairs of a state in line with what is there. Now, let me quickly dash into the Bible. We see King Saul, when God chose him as a king, the criteria for one of the criteria God used was that he was the tallest dude in Israel at the time. I wonder how tall he was that he couldn't face Goliath when time came. But they said when he stood amongst every other person, I think the tallest person to Saul there was on his shoulder.
Yes.
That's what the Bible says. We see Paul in the company of prophets. He prophesied to the point that a proverb came out that his son now one of the prophets. But he messed up. He did not follow the commandments as instructed by Samuel. Neither did he do what was right or pleasing in the eyes of God. Now, as far as God was concerned, when we look at the religion in 1 Samuel, God saw that, no, this guy, I thought with everything I deposited on your inside, you'll be able to bring out the silk in you, to the point that you will lead Israel as the first king. The moment he did the sacrifice, before Samuel turned up, God rejected him and said, don't cry no, I've rejected you, go for David. Now David was in the bush. We see David anointed as a king at 17 or thereabout, and then he's back in the bush looking after a few flock. Comes, kills Goliath, goes back to the bush, comes to the palace and all of that. All that time there was a preparation for David. He had people that were under him, so there was room for David to make mistakes. There was room for David to get corrected. There were people like Zadok in his life and all of that, pointing him in what he should do. But the passion he had for the nation of Israel and the things of God, were the things that God saw in him. Now, if we bring it to our contemporary day politics, we're expecting that if you say you're a Christian and you're in office, that title or that coloration called Christianity that you are under, bring out what the qualities of a Christian are in what you do.
What if the person, because being Christian by association is even being Christian by principle.
By principle.
So,
In truth.
Okay, in truth, do you understand? So what if somebody is Christian,
You know the Christianese, you know all of
but he doesn't even know the principles to apply to change the systems?
Let me come in.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, is it proper for me to say, rather than say we are voting for a Christian, let us vote for someone that can actually do the job first before we think about religion?
Yeah.
But also, you know that in Nigeria, as we stand, religion, ethnicity is our major divide.
Yeah.
Now, there was a period, at some point, I supported a Fashola Pankoso ticket, I think 2015. I said if they can give me one president and one advice, both of them, I'll be happy. But then again, there was that narrative about Muslim ticket.
Sure.
Will not pass. So we try to balance religion and then we balance ethnicity. Now, when we come to balancing all this, we tend to pick the wrong people based on the religious affiliations. Do you understand? So I strongly believe that President Muhammadu Buhari won the 2019 election. I don't know about 2015. 2015, I believe that there was a lot of propaganda too. 2019, he won it based on religion. That is what I feel. So the Christians that voted for the ruling party voted in the what do you call it? Not all of them. Majorly voted for our pastor. The Muslims that voted for a strong and a liberal Muslim as well.
Yeah.
But the question is, these religious people that we are picking, whether Christians or Muslims, are they the right people for the job? Hold on.
Yeah.
The life is sweet. The life is sweet. So, example, House of Assembly, you did 4 years, right? After 4 years, you became speaker. From speaker, you became a...
House of Rep.
No, from speaker, you became a governor, 8 years. So that's 16, governor 2 times, right? And then you move to Senate 2 times, right? And then you are now the minister. See, if you lived 21 years of your life in police protection, VIP treatment,
You government paying.
government pay your bill, you will forget that you're a Christian if you are not really a God-fearing person. Now, your own aim now is to make sure that you don't lose all that leverage that you
That's
have.
comfort.
So what do? Sometimes you drop that
Compromise.
compromise. And then what you do is you start leaning towards the one that is going to feed you better. Which is why you see I've forgotten one of the states, a former governor in the House of Reps member. He tried to contest for House of Reps and failed. A governor, 8 years. You now went to contest for House of Reps.
That crave for consistent power.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So there is power, and you see, when I say the life is sweet, it's sweet. You don't even, it's sweet. So you don't want to let it go. So you can as well compromise your Christian life or your Christian values just to make sure
you maintain that life. So for people who have made their economies to work, nations that have gone ahead of us, like light years ahead of us, how did they achieve this thing?
See, Umba struck the right chord when he says competence. For me, I don't care who is the president.
Well, are we really going for competence?
No. This is the challenge. The reason why we're here is because we've not gotten competent people yet.
Exactly.
And Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore didn't build Singapore on religion. Even the United Arab Emirates we all travel to, Dubai we all go to, it wasn't built even on Islamic religion. So I was reading My Visions by Ibn Maktoum. And when it came to religion, he said that they had to understand that the kind of system they were building in the United Arab Emirates was a system that should accommodate people who will come and spend their money in their country. So they had to relax a whole lot of laws that was Islamic for people to come in. They had to create a whole lot of incentives for people to come in. Tax heaven. So when you come, you don't even pay tax. People came in. When you come, you bring your money, you spend your money in Dubai. You spend your money, and that's what those guys don't even look at oil. They have oil, they don't look at oil. Tourism is the future for them. You understand? There was no water, but they built 2 massive seaports. I mean, anywhere you're flying through, if you fly Emirates, you must land in UAE. So there's a hub on water, and anybody who controls the water controls a whole lot in international politics. Anybody who controls the air, you must land in Dubai. When you land, you spend money. At least you buy coffee. You spend in chocolate.
Buy something.
Now, so people that have built economies, look at China. China grew rapidly in the last 30 years. We're not talking about 50 years. We're not talking about 100 years. How were they able to achieve this? Now, so when you see countries that are as religious as Nigeria, for example, and you see how messed up they are.
But see, okay. Think about how many people left church this morning.
Yeah.
And how many people went to pray on Friday.
Yeah.
We are deceiving ourselves.
True. Yeah.
So we claim that we are the religious country, but really and truly we don't practice and we don't express the values of actually being righteous is doing the right thing.
Right thing, right standing.
So when we say being righteous, I give an example. On Sunday, I mean, we go to many of our churches, you see the directors, all of them lay down on the floor. I don't like to talk about elective politics because sometimes, I mean, your 1,000 to 2,000 naira can get in office if you pay the right people to vote for you. Directors of ministries, PAMSEX, on Sunday, they go and worship God. When they worship,
Yes.
guy, this is the budget period. If you know what these people are putting in the budget, it's not righteous. But to whose interest? To their own interest. Not even the interest of the ministry, first of all, is to their personal interest. I mean, okay, they are trying to cut the cost of governance, and someone is still budgeting 150 million for feeding. I don't understand. You earn salary. No. You earn salary. You earn allowances, but we still have to pay you to eat. So what do you use your salary for?
So the truth of the matter is, and as much as possible, I want us to really look at it from this bird's eye view. Christians in politics, or better still, Christians in governance. Yeah, better still, because politics, I mean, there are a whole lot of things around politics. You said something about religion. The Bible says true religion, I think it's in James. True religion is, caring for the widows. You understand? There is a standard for true religion. Travel anywhere. There is a standard for true religion. And this true religion is not talking about Christianity. No. there's a standard for true leadership. So first off, when you look at how people act vis-a-vis what they claim that they are, you see that clear difference that these guys are not righteous
At all.
You understand? So, and it takes a level of righteousness for you to be in that office you're talking about, and you look at the
And not be
good,
compromised.
and not because because the truth of the matter is, getting into governance in Nigeria it will be difficult for you not to steal.
Yes.
I'll explain to you. As a governor, you have a security vote that nobody knows how much it is.
Minimum is 500
Yeah, I
million.
think that's increased about
No,
650 million now.
Nobody knows how much it is. You are not required by law
To tell you
Close
to
to budget it. No.
nothing. So and that money is fixed. See, with or without the budget, you get security votes. Do you understand what that means? If the budget is not signed until November, this is November this year, October this year, till November next year, your security votes will come consistently in the next 12 months, back to back, and you're not required by law to say what you use the money for. Okay, 650 million every month. That is stealing.
Minimum.
Sometimes get up to
That is flat stealing.
So that means in 2 months the governor is a millionaire.
You understand? So the truth of the matter is, you don't even have to steal.
Yes.
Really?
No, you
The
don't.
system makes
The
it.
system has created an avenue for you to suffer.
Look at this system.
Normal.
This system pays your wife, pays your children. This
So I say the system
allowances,
feeds you after you
feeds
have collected salary. See, it is bad.
and the system places you under pension.
Let me give you an example.
Don't go towards the pension.
Do you know how much
Because,
a certain governor from the southeastern state gets as pension every month? Over 100 million.
Wow.
Ex-governor.
Wow.
But
Over 100 million.
I think that is very small because the last time I was privileged to look at a pension act for governors from one of the states in the Middle Belt that I was privy to look at. Now, when this particular governor will leave office, he's guaranteed of the following things: a house that he will choose
In the FCT.
not
Yes.
just in the FCT.
Okay.
He will choose
The location.
the location, either Asokoro or Maitama. He's going to be given 4 SUVs. Now he's placed on 250 million cumulative.
Yearly.
Yes, as his pension, 250. His deputy is 150, and 2 SUVs
Annually or
annually, and he's entitled to about the governor says about 30 domestic staff. You've left office. What I do with 30 people? But
and while he was in office, the government was still paying for all this.
they were paying for all of
He
this.
probably is the one
and
that
they,
signed
and
that.
they change his cars. Every administration that comes in is entitled to have 4 cars, and they're all SUVs of his choice to be replaced. If those cars should have any fault, it's the state that will take care of the maintenance. Himself and his immediate family, which we cannot determine who the immediate family will be after he leaves office,
Yeah,
entitled to health and education.
like the issue at the villa.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
So
family issue.
let me just say something. It is. Let's also look at the part where you bring a righteous man to head an unrighteous system. Now, I believe that the NNPC is the unrighteous system. That if they make you the Minister of Petroleum today, Jonathan, and you are a righteous man,
I'm getting to that.
I can guarantee you that you will not be righteous in that office. Let me explain something. Let me explain something. Let me explain. Do you know what it means for me to come and say, Oga Minister, I be your boy, I don't come. How far? You now say, okay, no problem. We will find a way and give you maybe an allocation of maybe, let's say, 30,000 metric tons of crude. Once I get that allocation from you, now that allocation is worth a lot of money. And then I start doing my business and I make, for example, 1 million every week in dollars. And then after the end of the month, I'm like, Oga, this thing what you do for me, tight. This money, I cannot even spend it. So I want to be giving you $1 million every month. So I make 4 million and I'm dashing you. Now you as the right. You as
Yes.
Oga, thank you. This is not even bribe. This is thank you. Right? And where are you going to put that money in the law?
what I do as a job is still governance, but from another perspective, trying to see how we could get young people to begin to hold their government to account, which is part of the governance ecosystem. You understand? So until we begin to see governance as a collective responsibility, not just for people who have elective or selective positions in government, then I think the narratives will begin to change. You understand? So, for example, how can I be able to influence 100 young people to ask their government questions, their government's questions? For example, you're a governor of a state. You have a budget of 9 billion, for example. Okay, say you have a budget of 200 billion. I should be able to ask you what you're going to use that money for. You should be able to give me that breakdown. Yeah. So first of all, until we get people that would understand that government is not a gun shop, but is a place to serve, that you must be able to give people feedbacks, then we're not going anywhere. So Oga, we voted you as a governor. Your budget is 200 billion, for example. What are you going to use 200 billion for? Can we have a discussion around it? Is my interest in that budget? Are you going to fix power? Are you going to fix rural roads? Yeah. If you're going to fix road, where are you fixing the road? Because I want to go see the roads. Until we get to that level where every Nigerian sees himself as a part of the governance ecosystem, we may not make progress. For people who wants to go into politics, I'll tell you, a tree can never make a forest. You must go in as a park. And I tell you for real, you must go in as a park. So for example, Umba gets into politics. Umba and Joe has been friends for like forever. Joe doesn't have a problem looking Umba in the face and telling him, guy, you're doing the wrong thing. I mean, even before politics. I mean, guy, put yourself together. They have that kind of relationship. Umba gets into politics and decides to get new friends. He would miss it. There's no way he's not going to miss it. But if Umba gets into politics with the people that has kept him safe in his own space, they'll be able to look at him and say, I mean, guy,
check yourself.
Align. There's a certain governor, Darie, former governor is in jail now, Darie was FCS, whatever in the north, Fellowship of Christian Students. Darie was a very strong, yes. Darie was into full gospel businessmen's fellowship. Wow. Darie got into politics and got new friends.
Because the system was unrighteous.
New friends. He's in jail today. That was a Christian trailblazer getting into the system. So for me personally, I think anybody can decide to get into politics. There are some people that I can trust to get into politics. It's a murky waters. I may not be able to get in. But there are some people I know that they don't have the content of their character is fluid. We know them from that. And you know one of the things social media has done for us? It has exposed a whole lot of people to us. In the next 20 years, there's some people that want to run for office. And I'll dig out personally. I'll dig out God keeping me alive. I'll dig out everything they have said.
Everything they have said.
All those people that ran students.
Currently, we haven't seen such things happen. The other day, sorry to cut you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes, very recently, a renowned journalist died, Stanley Nwabi.
Yeah.
He was laid to rest. I was going through his tweets yesterday, and I started laughing because the people that castigated the last government and called them names and called them out for what seemingly the current government is doing, they are now silent. Now, so just to buttress the point he made, people have, with social media now, with the internet and all, you really don't have secrets.
Some people will never run for office in this country.
So that is a minor. Anyways, there's a point Musayo raised, and since we're talking about
what will you do?
Christians and governance and all,
Yes.
let me just highlight it a bit with scriptural backup.
No, answer this question.
No, I will.
Yes,
I will. No, just to buttress.
Because it's easy to analyze.
No.
If you are in that seat, what will you do? I want to hear everybody's
he made a valid point.
Yes.
I desire to run to get into politics sometime in my life. I desire it. But currently, when we look at what's going on, you ask yourself, do you have the mind to want to go into it? Because politics of today, there's a lot of do or die in it. Am I ready for heads to roll physically to have a position? Now, if I say I want to do that, I'm already contaminating myself, the whole righteous part of me has to be suspended.
But you
that's
said
all.
something about being part of the ecosystem of governance, and
You have to
don't
get in at the point.
It doesn't have to be. You have to go for governorship, or you have to go for.
Of course, but he made a point that I said I was going to get a bit of like scriptural backup when he talked about having people you can fall back on, people who can call you out and tell you to your face what you're doing is wrong. Making sure that you don't change your current circle of friends, people who can still have a grip on you.
What if your current circle of friends change as a result of your new position?
That's the funny thing. The higher you go in life, the higher you go,
You must travel in past.
it will change. But what will help
No,
you
I didn't say what if your friends change. I say what if their own character too changes
based on
based on your new position. Because see,
No, you
money
have no
position
friends.
amplifies people.
Yes.
Amplifies your hidden. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so now
So it's what?
you understand the
Never trust the humility of a poor man. Yeah?
poor man, yes.
Until
Because we can all be very straight now until maybe 10 billion is in the account and everybody's confused. Yes.
Joe, except you're a stupid person,
Yes.
you would know the people you have around.
No, but so,
I'm serious.
Sorry, I'll disagree. Let me tell you why. Who are the people that benefit from this unrighteous system? I'll tell you, the political followers at the grassroots, they benefit from it. So hold on.
Could it be because of their ignorance?
No, some of them no. Let me tell you the truth. We had an opportunity during the elections in February, and we saw a candidate who had the competence, and then there was another candidate who also had the competence. Two candidates, they were both educated and had the competence, but it now became about who could spend more money. They were demanding for the guy that can spend money. Now, you want to tell me that if I am righteous and now come into office, I'm a governor of the state. Normally, the security vote to come, I'll give the police, give the civil defense, give other security agencies some allowances. And now coming, I'm like, okay, let's do the right thing. I, as the governor, am going to dedicate my security vote to building hospitals in the rural areas. Good move, right?
Yeah.
The system start fighting you now. The police that you would like to call at any point in time and they will respond, they'll be like, okay, since our distance is not coming again, we are a little bit tied. The political talks that you're servicing will now start telling you that, okay, things are hard. So you must compromise. But in 1998, was 98 or 99, I read the story about how 3 people from my state called themselves the 3 Musketeers, sat down in Lagos and made a decision that 3 of them were going to rule the state. You don't go into politics as a tree into a forest. You go as a path, like what Busayo said. Sorry, not Buhari.
This record you don't.
I can call you Buhari because you supported it in 2015. And you supported it.
How can you call me
against my own I
that's an insult to my fundamental person.
Never mind. Wait,
We'll take him to court.
sit down. What I'm saying is these 3 guys sat down in Lagos. So the first guy came in, did 8 years, handed over to the second guy, came in, did his own 8 years. Now,
So their plan actually worked.
no, the next guy we'll see in 2023. If Gershom Bassey becomes the governor of Cross River State, if 2 have made it, it worked. Should we look at Delta State? James Ibori sat down with all his boys, and all of them are governors, speakers. They are just running the office. Should we go to Lagos State and then now look at Tinubu? Everybody that worked under Tinubu, including the people he went to other states to bring to Lagos, are running the state. The system is beneficial to a lot of people, that unrighteous system. So it is almost impossible for you to go in, even as a pack, to go and disrupt that system. Typical example, go to Zamfara State, there's a lot of gold mining going on there. Most illegal, right? And you come in and you're the governor, you're like, okay, let's make money from this gold. Let's make money. There's no money as sweet as illegal money. Ask the drug dealers, they'll tell you. Illegal money is sweet because it's plenty and sometimes you don't even answer to anybody. So now you want this money to be beneficial to everybody. So imagine on your street now, you live on the street and then everybody's actually benefiting from that money, which means the guy in number 5 cannot come to you at number 10 to say, bro, how far now? If you lend me 100k, and there's nothing in Nigeria. Most Nigerians hate like people who are striving to be independent. We sit down and then you come and we give you. Politicians love it. That's why when you see them in their appointment, they will always appoint that guy who has a very myopic mind and can support their nonsense. They will never bring the smartest guy, they'll never bring the sharpest guy, because the guy will challenge the system. I love El-Rufai. For one reason, he picks the best for the job. So if he wants to turn this into wood, he will look for the guy that, this is his own character. He wants to turn it, he will look for the guy that will do it. This is what helped Donald Duke. His character, when he came into power, did not change, regardless of the people that were around him. He had a vision.
That means one man can enforce a change.
Yes,
If his
but you
character
have to
is
have
solid.
a strong
Character is solid. Yes.
But that character also has to be able to work with the unrighteous system. You can't go in alone. Okay, I tried in February to, brought some boys together and like, okay, how can we, this election, how do you guys want to be involved in it? They want money. I want to go into politics. Maybe not elective. I want to do governance the right way. But example, even in the civil service that I work in, it is so bad that I don't know the role of an assistant director. As I am, I don't know what an assistant director is. I'm in the system, but I don't know what the assistant. They'll restrict you so much from that information until you get there. So that when you get there, you now meet the system. So it is now more difficult for you to go and find a way to change the system. It's more difficult for you to now adopt to the system.
Because you've taken so much time in that system of see, the truth of the matter is a bad water source cannot produce good water.
Jesus said so.
The system is
Man
messed
cannot
up.
produce good fruit.
It will be a struggle. I can imagine the kind of struggle the current vice president goes through. Giving him a benefit of doubt. I'm not saying it's 100% right. I can imagine how he struggles to navigate that mad system. Now, this is where people outside government should get more responsible, right? This morning I got an SMS. I showed Umba 4 naira for 20 seconds using USSD.
Yeah, I think I saw.
It's sad. Now they said if we go pay money over the counter, there's a charge. So we should do online banking. If you use your POS now, there's a 15 naira charge on it. If you do transfers from your phone, USSD, there's a 4 naira per 20 seconds charge on it. But Nigerians don't care. It is Nigerians that will change the system. I have almost not seen any system that changed in the contemporary politics of the world, international politics, that wasn't created by a need from the people. Look at what is happening world over. Look at what happened in Hong Kong.
It's still going on.
Half of what happened in Hong Kong has not happened. What am I saying?
You're saying half, 1%.
See, what is happening in Nigeria is like 1,000 times what happened in Hong Kong. But you see young people on the streets. Am I calling for a revolution? I'm not.
No, but you can't call for protest.
I'm just
trying to do a protest to occupy Nigeria. 24 hours later, we turned into a music concert.
Baddest.
No.
We're not serious in that aspect. Can't.
No, it wasn't. Every protest comes with its own style.
But how do you turn a protest against the government into a concert?
You know that was the longest protest Nigeria
because it was a concert.
You know when the protest went down, when the same Labour guys went to renegotiate with the government behind the people. As soon as Labour did that negotiation, Nigerian army started shooting people on the streets in Lagos.
But they were having a concert.
You cannot stop people. See, every protest. You know one of the reasons why Nigerians, the suicide rate in Nigeria is really low. We know how to enjoy ourselves.
Is it low or is it getting higher?
It's just getting higher. It wasn't as high as this in the last 3 years ago.
Not to contain it. Yeah.
You understand? We're happy people. On the most serious.
We are not happy. We are pretentious.
No. We are. Why did most of us spend our times on Instagram watching funny videos. I go to work and I'm depressed when I come back home. How do I calm down? I watch them for
So we are not happy.
and I laugh.
We are pretending to be happy.
We're trying, no,
What happiness?
we're trying to be
Happiness
happy.
is that
If
whether
that's it,
whether you go to work and you have a bad day, you just classify it as work. Let me tell you one thing I have a problem. The only problem I have with protests in Nigeria, they are always for certain interests. Now, Occupy
Every
Nigeria,
protest has
before
an
it started,
interest.
they wanted to increase the price of petroleum, fuel, PMS,
They want to remove subsidy.
and remove subsidy. If you see the breakdown of what they wanted to do, by this time, we will not be suffering in this country.
Umba.
You know what happened? These people that
you know what?
these people that were not going to benefit from the system, the protest started as good protest. 10, 5, 15 hours into the system, all these guys that are not going to benefit from the systems now came in. The problem I had with that protest, well, how do you change a protest to a music concert? We are supposed to be demanding for. You can't have two friends on stage trying to sing, and you are telling me. What was it?
You're doing what Nigeria does.
No,
And it's wrong.
it's not what Nigeria
You're
does.
doing what Nigeria. You know what Nigeria does? Nigeria waits for people to make a move, and we sit down and criticize that move people are genuinely making. That's how they know how to do.
So you make a move for what
The
purpose?
protest wasn't only in Lagos. The concert was in Lagos.
That's what I'm saying.
You understand?
Lagos was
I was in
going on.
Makodi. I joined the protest in Makodi.
This is
I
what
walked
you
on the
got
streets in
involved
Makodi.
in.
People
I am not saying that.
So don't bring down that morale of that protest in 2012 because there was people started doing concert, people started cooking on the road.
I am not
people
saying.
started smoking on the road.
Fast forward.
You are just trying to commonize.
Can we fast forward to our Mudondu?
Yeah.
Fast forward to our Mudondu. What happened? It is alleged that Charlie Boy collected bribe. So if you are the main guy, this is my problem with protest. It's like I sit down, I know that I have a crowd, and I know that 10,000 people can follow me on the street of Abuja. I move on the street. These 10,000 innocent guys think we are going to do the right thing. Me, I know that I'm targeting at something. Once they approach me, I collect and bounce, which is what Charlie Boy did.
But okay, so for me, let me just bring this difference. There's a difference between the civil society and civil society organizations. The civil society refers to every citizen who is not in the military. Every citizen. I think our biggest problem has been that we have always waited for a face before we do anything. I think that's been our biggest problem. Now, and look at the guy, look at the Arab Spring. The guy who set himself on fire in Tunisia. Nobody knows him. I mean, I don't even know his name. But he set himself on fire and the Arab Spring spread from Tunisia. I mean, it got as far as Egypt, it got as far as Libya.
They have not recovered.
What were they talking about? It's the same economic reality. So I think the problem with Nigeria is we wait for somebody to lead. We want a face to it. And we've forgotten that that face is a human too. When Two-Face wanted to lead a protest in this country, he was silenced. Why was the protest silenced? Because people could attach importance to one person, Two-Face. So when the government intimidated him, the protest went down. I'm saying there's going to be a time. There's going to be a time when Christians, Muslims, pagans, any gangs whatsoever would get on the street because of the sufferings of the people will be heavy.
Until we begin to think.
At that point, when we cannot go, we're privileged people, we're elites. All of us sitting there, we're elites.
If you look at it that way.
Yeah, we're privileged people. I mean, you still earn. Yes, you still earn.
You can eat. The government is not paying for your food.
The day that we here, sitting here, the reality would hit us that we need more than just earning. We may be the ones to get on the street. And that is so far.
We will. And I know the problem with having a revolution in Nigeria, you know, like everything that happens in Nigeria is never controlled.
No, you can't.
So imagine a small riot in a small village. That village will burn down first before they come. So if a revolution ever, I pray not, ever happens in Nigeria, it will never be controlled. Because the thing is, we will now generate anger from different aspects. And your neighbor that is even vexing you for parking in front of the parking lot, you first attack him first.
Nigeria.
Not if for the we protest for the wrong reasons. I am sorry to say.
No.
I won't hold on. I'm not talking about the followers. I won't forget about the followers.
I won't accept that.
We had an opportunity in this country to protest. When was that opportunity? When the government said we had removed subsidy. But we realized that the subsidy was still there, we did not protest. We now had a second opportunity to protest when petrol fuel price was increased without any reason.
Maybe like Busayo is saying, we're still waiting for a face to come on help.
Now this is what I'm saying.
Nigerians are very
We're waiting for a face.
This is what I'm saying.
Show up and speak for us.
Anyways,
Hold on, please. The Occupy Nigeria protest. Who organized it? Who organized the Occupy Nigeria protest?
Tunde Bakare, Wole Soyinka, El-Rufai.
So you can already see that it was politicians that were on the other. No, hold on. Well, let's be honest. On the other side of government,
Why are you calling it Buhari?
this set is over. They said, sorry, Busayo. No, let's the set is over. See,
And they killed the camera.
sorry about that. See, I always call it that. You know what? The set was in 2015. You did not listen to me. The set is over. Not listen to me.
It's okay, guys.
Hold on.
Let's round up.
30 seconds.
Let's round up.
What the someone said we protest. Revolution about what? Revolution. No, wait, forget about revolution.
All of you refuse to come.
Let's talk about
Someone is still in jail.
what that happened.
Every day when I make comments on social media, I still have it at the back of my mind that I may just say something that someone gets angry and they pick me up. Of course, I still have that consciousness every day. I still have that consciousness as a private citizen.
Was that how it used to be? Before you supported Buhari?
You are trying to prove it.
No, I'm proving the point, but
Please,
I mean, you're making
can you shut down? Can you shut down?
30 seconds.
Can you shut down?
What I'm saying
Everything
is,
we boss in 30 seconds.
Occupy Nigeria's protest. Wait. See, the protest was the people in government. You cannot tell me that you're part of the government and you're not allowed to protest. The best protest is always people in the government that will start the protest. When you are on the other side of the divide, like these people were, they knew that Nigeria was going to be better. See the debate now, they had a debate, the finance minister, minister of economy and everything. They did the debate, and what happened? Nigerians agreed to what they were saying on TV. Then this elite now decided that we should protest. Tunde Bakare, Tinubu, El-Rufai, even the Buhari himself joined the protest. Why? Just to make Nigerians believe that them, they are the elite, they don't agree. So you guys also, you will not agree. I know Nigeria now, once you are not in power, you are opposition. We are good followers, but we follow blindly. It's the same way pastor will tell you to go and eat grass.
Okay, it's okay. Alright guys, it's okay.
We'll continue this particular series on Christians in governance, like Busayo has rightly pointed out. As you can see, the floor is getting hotter and hotter, and the question still comes out to you out there. What will you do if you are in the position that these guys are in? For instance, if you are the vice president of this country, what would you do? Will you be able to change? Can one man change the system? Is it realistic? Is it something that is achievable? We can sit down and analyze from now to tomorrow, speak English, speak Pidgin, quarrel and talk. But what can you do? Is your character formed enough to be able to change the system? Like Busayo said today, you can be start from the part of the ecosystem, belong to the system, and then you can see how you can change. And don't go alone, like we've said, go in packs. Build a team of guys that think like you, reason like you, and that are also not selfish, that can help to change the system. And we'll continue the series. We'll have more people from part of the system come and talk about Christians in governance and principles that will help us to be a better nation. Change starts with us, as we all know, and this is what we'll call it a day for today.